Hello, Adikani. Welcome and thank you for joining me today on the Children's Chimurenga. I'm Rosemary and it's really nice to see you. Welcome. Today, I thought we could talk about quieting the mind and what it means to meditate, and hopefully to encourage you to try it and to see how it feels, how it leaves you interacting with yourself and with the world around, and if it helps to shift your perspective so that you are able to see to feel what life is from a place of a deeper connection with yourself. Some of these things are difficult to express in words because they can only be experienced. So what I am transmitting right now, what I'm speaking about, is something that cannot be spoken about, actually, because words are proof of thought. They are the language of thought. And what we are talking about, intending to achieve right now, is a quieting of thought, a departure from thought, and an understanding that we are not our thoughts. Our thoughts are our mind, and our mind is a tool. In the same way, we are not our body. Our movements are coming from our body, but our body is a tool. The mind tells the body what to do, but you tell the mind what to think. So the question becomes, if I am not my mind and I am not my thoughts, and I am telling my mind and my thoughts what to think, then who am I? A great sage named Sri Ramana Maharishi, I'll write him in the box down below, in India, had an awakening, enlightening experience when he was 16 years old. And then he lived in pure consciousness for the rest of his life. And just by the virtue of his beingness, his being aligned and living in who he is as spirit, was enough to awaken many other people, and for people to feel that, wow, there is something beyond. And so before I take us to his technique of quieting the mind and his method of self-inquiry, I will just introduce a mantra. A mantra is it's a chant or a repetitive string of sounds, which are words as well, because we do have use of them, that help the mind to focus. So monks and nuns in Eastern cultures mainly, but actually in Western cultures as well. And now that we have embraced Christianity so much in Zimbabwe and in Africa, you can say that we have a very westernized religious culture, which then infiltrates our culture as well. So even in Western culture, many of the ways in which hymns and things are sung in church is a way of focusing the mind and quieting the mind. And unfortunately, I never had the experience of our own African ways of doing things, but I'm sure Pamabira and during times of prayer, that the songs that were sung and the mbira music, and you can hear it in the rhythm of our mbira music, that it is a way of sort of entertaining the mind or giving it something to do, to focus on, so that spirit can come through without being interfered with. And so mantra is a way of doing this. With mantra, though, the sounds themselves, their vibratory capacity has the effect and the ability to open up the energy channels in the body so that healing can take place and a greater and deeper connection to spirit can occur. One of my favorite mantras, which helps me to remember what it is we are trying to achieve as spirit embodied in this human body on earth, to remember ourselves and to question who we are, to experience ourselves from this human plane so that we develop a human perspective on our true nature. And so in order to do that, it's like we have given ourselves an enormous set of challenges. We've given ourselves a body, we've given ourselves a mind, we've given ourselves many distractions to keep us away from ourselves so that we can then go on the journey or play the game or go through the maze of rediscovering from this perspective. Because we always know who we are, but rediscovering from this perspective who we are. That's what we're here to do. And so it's marvelous to have a unique set of circumstances, a unique game, one that you have especially chosen for yourself in order to know yourself. So this mantra says, Om Gate Gate, paragate, parasamgate, Bodhi Svaha. And what it means is go beyond, go beyond. Go even further beyond. That's the Om, Gate, go beyond. Gate, go beyond. Paragate, even further beyond. Parasamgate, even further beyond that. Bodhi Swaha, and then self-realization, realization. There are no words for it. Connection, understanding, coming home. But in order to be able to reach home, we have to go beyond what we think is, and then go beyond that, and even further beyond that, and even further until that awakening occurs. And it's an invitation to go beyond the mind, because anything that the mind is thinking is not so. The mind is a tool. It's like asking your screwdriver if it thinks this is a door. It doesn't know the difference between whether it's screwing a door or screwing the boot of a car. It's a useful tool when applied by you. completely useless when you are not in charge of it. And actually, maybe a screwdriver isn't quite the right example, because a screwdriver can't move without you moving it. So maybe something more like a forklift. If you are not there to direct it, but it's on and it's whizzing around the warehouse, it can cause major destruction. Or if the driver is asleep, but you are the driver. So, who am I? And to find out who I am, I have to go beyond, and beyond who I think I am, and even further beyond that, until I come to a place of nothingness, of no thingness, where there is no thing, because things are already projections of the mind. So Sri Ramana Maharishi, when he transmitted his method of self-inquiry, which is so simple and so elegant and takes practice, he said, sit down in a quiet place, have some time to yourself, and ask yourself, who am I? And when you hear yourself asking yourself that, ask, to whom does this thought arise? Who is thinking this thought? And then you'll ask again, who am I? To whom does this thought arise? Who am I? Who is thinking this thought? And one of two things will happen. Either you will go in this loop of asking the question, who am I? The mind trying to answer. You will notice the mind trying to answer, and then you will see that as mind, but then you will say, who is this? Who is seeing that as mind? And either your mind will collapse in exhaustion at trying to keep up with this, and then the space opens. Or you will realize that this is an exercise in noticing the noticer. Who is looking at the world from behind your eyes? Who are you? And every time, if there is an answer, that's not the answer, go beyond. If there is an answer, if there is a word, if there is a thought, there is no, go beyond. Go beyond. I wish you much love and peace on your journey of self-inquiry.